Welcome to the Minorities Report podcast. My name is Antonio Alcazar.
And I'm Sergeant Technor.
So, Sergeant?
Yeah, today.
Okay.
Somebody's got to wake me up.
We watched Aliens. Yeah, Aliens plural. In the first movie, there was one alien. In this movie, there are multiple aliens. And so the director... Scott Pilgrim? What's his name?
Scott Pilgrim?
Who is the director? Scotty Wilkinson?
James Cameron.
James Cameron. He was being very clever.
It is ridiculously clever.
Okay.
It's, why call your movie Part 2, Aliens 2, or Alien 2, when you can call it Aliens?
Okay.
And it's Part 2.
I wonder if this is before, was this before big prequels? This was mid-80s, right?
Prequels?
Or sequels, I mean? This is mid-80s, mid to late 80s?
This is 85 or 86.
Okay, so this is early-ish in
mid-80s.
Like big like cinematic universes.
I mean, you already had
Star Wars.
Star Wars, obviously.
But Star Wars Episode 5, was that called Episode 5 or was that just called The Empire Strikes Back?
If I remember correctly, and Star Wars people who were alive acting, because I was not like...
you were literally born the year that Empire came out.
Correct. I'm pretty sure it was Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. The only one that was just plain Star Wars was A New Hope, that later got changed to A New Hope.
Right, yeah, for sure. So. But it wasn't just Star Wars, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi. They actually had the episode number.
I'm pretty sure.
That's interesting.
Well, I'm sure it all mattered, because, like... New Hope was renamed to New Hope, obviously, before Empire Strikes Back came out.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So, Star Wars, and then A New Hope was...
But it wasn't called Star Wars 2. I actually don't know much about prequels that were around in the 70s and 80s. You know, like, were prequels... sequels. Was that like a thing? You know, like, was it like...
Death Wish? I mean, there was a decent amount of, like, sequels and stuff like that. I don't think this is a rarity.
Okay, so what's Death Wish?
A story of Charles Bronson where he's like a normal dude. It's like every like Trumpian's dream right now. Where was there a Death Wish 2? Yeah, absolutely.
Was it called Death Wish 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay,
and 3, I think.
All right.
So, sequels, once they were like,
they already had their
money.
Names.
And think about it too, like
this was a unique naming convention then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well,
because like there was also like where you're forgetting about like another famous sequel machine, Friday the 13th. Because if I remember correctly, Friday the 13th Part 1 came out like 79, 80, and then they made one every single year after that.
Oh, ew, really?
Part. Yeah, it was like 81. I mean, because it's easy. It's a fucking dude in a hockey mask running around.
I get
it. Not Part 1, but the rest of them
they were called Part 2, Part 3, Part 4.
Yeah, and with a tag to it, too. So, like, I forgot. I'm not a big Friday the 13th fan, so I can't name them all, but I know there was like Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, and a bunch of other
So when Ridley
like
Scott
made the first one.
Okay, when
James
Cameron made this one, he was like, "We're gonna be different. This is just gonna be called Aliens."
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't have the behind the scenes of why it was called Aliens.
Well, good for him.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they did something different. That they took this in a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, and there was like Rocky 1, Rocky 2.
Okay.
And Rocky, 3.
Yeah.
I think
so this was innovative.
Point. Yeah, I think it was pretty.
He was flexing a little bit.
It was definitely different.
He's like, "Hey, when you come see this is gonna be different."
Cameron. I don't know, man. I think Cameron is pretty flawless when it comes to things. Like we talked about when we were at Gen Con. I think
because you love Titanic.
Well, no, I don't like Titanic, but Titanic. I recognize its greatness.
If I remember the Gen Con conversation, you love Titanic.
If I remember correctly.
You have a Titanic tattoo on your back.
You might have to correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I compared it to Breaking Bad.
And I love Breaking Bad.
I recognize its greatness. It's just not for me.
Yikes. So. You've never watched Breaking Bad?
I did.
How do you?
Of course I did.
The whole thing?
No,
exactly.
I bailed.
Well, get fucked.
No, I mean that's silly.
Did you bail at the beginning of Titanic and go, "It's probably good"?
No, I can. So like,
you were like 2 hours in, and you're like, "I don't know."
Breaking Bad for me, I could not. Haven't we had this discussion before?
If we have, I can't.
So
remember.
Breaking Bad to me, I could not give. You know how you have like you watch a Marvel movie or something like that, and you have your suspension of disbelief, and all that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I do remember this.
I could not get past it with Breaking Bad. Because I'm like, this fucking
guy would be
suburban white dude would be killed for sure, and they would not give a fuck about money.
Yeah.
They'd be like, this is a respect thing, you're fucking dead. That's how gang work. Gangs, drugs, things like that work. Like,
well, kind of. See, that's why you have to see the show.
No.
Because in the show, nobody really knows who's doing it, who's making the meth.
Okay.
They don't know really where the meth is coming from.
Okay.
He's got like Aaron Paul's character.
Sure.
He is the one that's kind of going around and making the deals and stuff.
Yeah.
But where the meth is coming from, nobody really knows. There's one time where they know, and then that dude is going to kill him, and he only doesn't die because a cop finds them and they get away. But like when they found out who was making that meth, the gangster guy was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill you.
yeah.
So like there's some amount of that. You should give it a chance.
Maybe when it's on some free station, I'll go back and watch it.
It's on
By free station, I'm sorry.
You don't mean a streaming service.
Netflix and things like that.
Oh, but that's what it's already. It's on
Netflix?
it's either on Netflix or it's on Hulu. It's on one of them.
Okay. To talk about better things now from Breaking Bad. So Alien.
Oh yeah,
baby,
we're reviewing Aliens.
back
Oh,
at
I'm so
this.
sorry. So, you know, I've had some people reach out to us and they're just like, sometimes it really takes some time for you guys to get going about the fucking episode.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah,
we
this is tangents, man.
We
This is
talked,
tangents.
man. We
Yeah.
talked. If you're not down with this by at this point in time,
We are a year in, ladies.
two
and
words
gentlemen.
for you, man. Suck it. You know.
Wait, who is that?
here.
That's
DX.
Brett the Hitman Hart. Is that who does that?
I'm sorry to all the wrestling
Randy
fans
Savage?
out there. Yes, it's Randy Savage.
Oh, is it really?
Randy Ultimate Warrior Savage.
Ultimate Warrior.
So this movie comes out 57 years after the original. It not actually 57 years after the original, obviously, but in the
Movie takes place 57
years
yeah.
after the original.
But
yeah,
it takes
so-
place immediately afterwards. So like she puts herself in the cryostasis and then
immediately afterwards for her.
for her, yeah. And then as soon as the movie starts, she's coming out of cryo sleep.
We are
Just
starting
found her.
off on that old ship,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then she gets rescued by a group of what I call really honest people, right? Because these people could easily been like, oh, she died. Like they could just like, you know, whatever, like kill her and be like, oh, ship's empty. Oh, everyone on here was dead, so we can now scrap it. And that's probably like a ton of cash or whatever.
Oh, I see. It was found by scrappers?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because they were talking about how they got this grape scrap find or whatever, and then she's oh no, she's alive, so can't be scrapped.
Okay,
or
yeah.
whatever,
For
so.
some, maybe I must have missed that little bit like of side dialogue.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize. I thought it was just like, you know, she was just found.
So we get her into the hospital, and she's doing her chilling or whatnot, and then in comes Paul Rudd. Wait, Paul Rudd, is that right? Yeah. Wait, no, Paul Rudd is Ant-Man, right?
Yeah.
Paul. Fuck.
Giamatti.
In comes Paul Reiser.
What's he known for?
He was in some show like forever. I can't remember. It was like a sitcom or him and some relationship lady. He has a relationship with a lady, and they're like in New York or something like that. But it was on for a long time
Because he was
yeah.
like a well-known face.
Absolutely.
But I didn't know what the
Absolutely, yeah. So he comes in and he's like, you know, I'm a company guy, but I'm the good company guy, which tells me right away he's not a good guy.
He's like, I'm on your side.
Right, I'm down with you for all
of
of this, right?
He was the android this movie. Yeah. And the android was the red herring the whole time.
It's pretty cool.
They made him so sinister. And I was just like, oh, can't trust androids in this universe.
He's doing literally a lot of the same things that the last android was doing.
Yeah.
So
he was in Mad About You, by the way.
Mad About You, thank you. So Mad About You and Ripley are talking, and then Ripley starts to feel like weird and shit like that, and she's like, what the fuck? And then of course a face, alien bursts out of her, and it's a
But
dream
she was-
sequence,
yeah, but she was
of
dreaming,
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
we knew that was where that was going. Okay, so next scene, she
I
gets
didn't
up.
100% know that that's where that was going.
Oh, you thought maybe they'd dump her right away?
I didn't know.
Yeah, I
you know,
could
like
see
I
that.
was just like, okay.
I always forget. See, I take for granted that you don't know about the sequels past this. That Ripley's the star in all the movies. So
She's
yeah.
the star in all of the movies?
the four.
Oh my god.
Yeah, until
So like I was actually pretty tired of Ripley at the beginning of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like when this movie started and from her to them getting back on that planet, I was just like Ripley has no place here. She shouldn't be here.
Okay, so
I felt like the plot was
that's
really pulling strings to keep Ripley in the scenes.
I think that's a great feeling to have because that's what they're presenting. James Cameron is presenting you that she's not supposed to be here. She shouldn't be in this.
Yeah, but like, why did they want her there?
Oh, so they go through all of this.
Yeah, but but that's what I'm saying was kind of like contrived. Like even even Wade and Yutani like had no business going her back there.
Well,
unless they wanted her to die.
Well, let's talk. Okay. So she goes to a meeting with all the suits and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Ripley's just no nonsense about this shit. She's like, you
Here's what
know,
happened.
you guys fucked up. You know, you sent us to this place or whatever.
Yeah.
You should have known about this place. This was supposed to be, you know, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we didn't. Everything, all the scans showed us there was no life forms, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they're going back and forth. And
But they were even disputing that the android had a directive to land on the planet.
Correct, yeah.
Like, because she was like, this was not something we wanted to do. The android pulled the fucking ship over.
And they are like...
on your directive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like,
oh, well, to us, it seems like maybe you did it or some shit like that. You know?
Well, no, and then they bring up, like, all of our scans show there was no indigenous life forms on this planet. And she's like, she gets a nice quip that I like. She's like, did IQ sharply drop when I was away? Yeah. I said it was not indigenous. It was an alien life form that was not, you know. So she's like, you know what I compared this to a little bit? And now, like... Obviously, this movie took it from this movie rather than the opposite way. It's very Sarah Connor-ish because she's trying to like explain because there's no proof that there was an alien on board or anything like that killed everybody. So they're like trying to like take her, like they're like taking her word, but a lot of them are like, yeah, fucking right. Like, so I'm sure something happened here and it was a bunch of bullshit, but we can't prove it one way or the other because
they even said like we've scoured like hundreds and hundreds of worlds.
And none of this. We've never seen this. Yeah. And importantly, the ship, you exploded the ship. Like nobody else. It was under your orders that the ship was exploded. And frankly, they're very corporate-like. They're like, you destroyed this $1 billion ship or whatever. You're fucking done with us. You're done being a pilot.
I'm actually more surprised that they didn't go the Sarah Connor route and like lock her up somehow.
Right. Yeah.
They were just like, we're just taking your pilot's license.
You're done. Yeah. You're going to be a regular person now. Like you're all done with
Dude, if I were Sarah Connor, I'd be like, and I'm done giving a shit.
Right.
And I would just go upon my life.
So she is. She's like, okay, so what then ends up, so she's like, look it, man, if you don't believe me, just fucking go there. There were hundreds of eggs there. You can see the eggs. And their response is, we don't have to go there and check it out. We've been living there for 40 years or whatever.
30 years,
yeah, something like that. They've been living there for years. And there's all these miners there and people there that are converting the planet into a hospitable.
And guess what? There's been no issue.
Not a single complaint, right? And she's just like, all right, well, I guess, it is what it is. And I think at this point, she's clearly washed her hands of this situation. She's
kind of. The reason that I dispute that, or the reason that I kind of, I'll push back, is that the moment that Mad About You is just like, let me maybe get your license back. She's just like, no, she's like, I'll go.
No, here's the thing. First, he's like, look, man, we're going to this thing. So basically what ends up happening is, a week afterwards or whatever, they lost the signal to those people aren't reporting like they're supposed to.
Because
surprise.
What we saw is that there was some guy. What was he doing? A patrol? No.
Yeah.
He got sent out.
Yes.
By Mad About You.
Yes.
To go check out this area.
Yes.
And then they found the down ship.
We don't know.
He goes with his kids?
Yes.
This was wild.
We don't know right now that Mad About You sent him there.
Yeah. But we know that he was talking to somebody when they were heading out there.
Yep.
And then they get there.
I'm so proud of you that you watched the director's cut.
Yeah, I watched the extended
This
version.
is not in the original cut.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of silly. Yeah.
I watched I think it's called just the special edition.
Right. This is just yep.
And then they get there, and then when they get back to the cart, it's the mom freaking out and the dad with the fucking the
face
parasite.
hugger on him.
Now, here's the thing. How'd they get the dad back? Like, was he running?
I don't know.
Or did the mom just like Hercules drag him type shit?
Yeah.
You know, like I was just like, how did he get there?
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's weird. It's very weird.
I mean, you needed to see it. So whatever.
We need to know that the aliens are still there.
Yeah.
And so they lost contact.
And we needed to meet the little girl.
And Ripley straight up says, I don't care. She's just like, I am not having anything to do with this.
Yeah.
And he's like, look,
get you your license back.
If you do, and he puts it out to her, what are you going to do with your life?
Yeah.
Like, are you just going to become some regular? I forgot what he calls it.
And at this point, she's already kind of beat up.
Is basically what she's going to become.
But at this point, she's already beat up because her daughter's dead.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Her daughter died in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I saw that.
Another thing that's not in the original cut.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Wait, the whole daughter stuff?
Yes. All that stuff is not in the
How
original
were you
cut.
supposed to make the emotional connection with the daughter later on? That was the point.
Yeah.
The point of the
There's
little
a
girl
lot of
later
weird
on
things.
is that she's
The funny thing about
the
this
little girl
movie
lost her mom, she lost her daughter, bada bing, bada boom.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But you don't have that in the original cut.
That's interesting. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much.
I think it would have been something you wouldn't even notice, and you would have naturally done what most
people did.
Most
just
people
like
do.
accepted it.
It's a woman, and so she's going to have this connection to a little girl.
Sure.
And we do that subconsciously.
No, that would have seemed 80s to me.
Yep. And this came
80s.
out in the 80s.
Sure, I know,
So.
but I would have tagged that. So the addition of her losing her daughter to me, was cool.
Of course.
To me, I was
agree.
just oh, that's
the special edition is better than the
original.
original.
Can you imagine you come home and you're just like, well, at least I'll see my kid. She's probably worried about her mom. Yep. Oh no, she died at 65. Dude.
Yeah. She was 10 or whatever when I left, and now she's fucking dead.
Yeah,
so
that was a good. I remember that was a good scene when I was watching it. I felt like, damn, Sigourney Weaver's really going through some shit right now. And then then I didn't even think about it again.
Yeah.
Until at the end of the movie, where like her and the girl are escaping, I was just like, "Oh, this makes sense." Why she cares so much, because she doesn't she kind of found a surrogate daughter, and she doesn't want to lose her again. So,
but either way, at this point, she's like, he's like, look, we only just need advice. Is what we want you to come and give advice to the team.
But that's where I think it's yucky. You're like, what the fuck?
He even points out, you're just going to stay on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's important to remember too. There's that huge cruising ship. That they blast off from, and she's just going to stay on that ship, and she's going to give advice from that ship. Yeah. And she even says, look, dude, I don't want to do this, but if you, and she does say no. And she's like, I am not going. I don't give a fuck. She hangs up. She wakes up from a nightmare again. And then she's like, she phones Paul Rudd. And she's like, look here, Ant-Man. If we're going there to fucking kill everything, promise me we're going there to kill everything. I'll come with you. And Rudd is, in his comedic voice, is of course like, of course.
Yeah. But why would you go back to that fucking planet, dude? I don't even, if I would just call him up and I'd be like, hey, I'm still not going to go with you, but just promise me you're going to kill everything, because that's going to be some scary shit. But still, I'm not going back to that planet.
Here's why I think, because I think she's like, I want to see this through, because you can go, nah, but I think she's like,
that's some nightmare shit, man. Would you give a shit if you had to go back to some nightmare shit, real nightmare shit? I would be, you know what I would say? I hope they see that through. I wouldn't give a fuck after that.
I don't know about that, because so she knows the company wants this fucking thing, because she dealt with the not bishop, but the original android. His whole directive was getting this alien back. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she knows that. So I think part of her is like, this company is going to do some fucked up shit.
What you're talking about specifically, where she might have some inklings that Weyland-Yutani has an ulterior motive for going to get it, and that she wants to specifically stop that. I think having done that explanation better, that would have been phenomenal reason for her to go back. But they really didn't do that.
No, you're right. I think that would have been nice if they would have, because
if she was 3D chessing them, that would have been cool. I would have liked that, because everybody's always 3D chessing her, whether it was the android or whether it was Paul Rudd. They are being deceitful. If she would have been like, fine, I'll go with you guys, but it's really because she's going to try to stop whoever it is that's trying to bring that shit back. She wants to stop it. I think that would have been much better. Much less dubious reasons for her to go, because when I was watching this movie, I'm like, why in the fuck would you ever go back to that fucking planet? There wouldn't be a price in heaven for them to be able to fucking get me back to that planet. I saw aliens rip people to pieces. I'm not going back to that.
Because again, she's not going back to the planet. You have to think about it like a space marine. All right, think about 40K universe, right? Okay, you were on a planet. The planet was invaded by orcs, whatever. The Tyranids, even better, right? A different ripoff. So it's invaded by gene stealers, okay? And you dealt with one gene stealer and it killed all your fucking crew except for you, right? You get away, and now the space marines are like, look, dude, we're going to take you with us. You're going to give us advice from our strike cruiser. So you're not even coming to the planet. You're going to be on the strike cruiser, and our fucking Death Watch kill team is going down to take care of whatever the fuck is going on down there. Figure out what the fuck happened and smoke anything if we have to that's there, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think you'd be like, yeah, all right, I'll see that through.
Sure.
And then
I'll help you out just to kill this thing.
Right, exactly. To so like if you frame it that way, I think I see it a little bit better.
Sure.
And the fucking Inquisition.
It's just the problem is that they were framing her like such a human.
Yes.
Not like a soldier.
Right.
They were like,
because she's not a soldier.
No, but I get it. But what I'm saying is she's only a badass because she needed to be a badass.
Of course.
And she's just like, fuck it, I'm not going to die today.
Right.
But like when she's already away from
Not this episode, though. In this one, she's more than that. That's the original. We'll get to all that.
But that's what I'm saying. They still kind of framed her, especially at the beginning, as somebody who was just like, I was way out of my element.
Right. And a maniac, because like they don't believe her.
Sure.
Right? And like here, and I guess the other point you got to remember too is the Inquisition is like, Antonio, if you're not going to come with us, you're going to be like a fucking servitor,
pariah,
for the Second Marine, and your fucking life is pretty much over with. So I don't know. You might be like, I'll go back to being a rogue trader.
Okay,
sure. Okay. So
I feel like I really don't like that made more sense.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you made it make some sense.
So from there, we're introduced to the Marines, which the Marines are just fucking given to you like bad fucking asses, bro.
They're given to you like people who are trying to be badasses.
Oof. You are so wrong, and I'm going to go through why and show you how you're wrong.
Sure, okay.
All right.
Oh, so, maybe it was just what's his name?
Hudson.
Hudson. He's the most loud one.
Yes,
right?
He's the mouth runner.
I think maybe Hudson was the only one that was like
every veteran that listens to us right now knows there was one dude in their unit that was that fucking clown. Right
really?
There. Absolutely. I had a dude who would mouth off when we were getting smoked to get us smoked even harder and shit like that. And and everybody was like, "We're gonna fucking beat the shit out of that asshole." He's a blue falcon as a motherfucker. So here's what I want to say before we go any further.
Yeah.
The most unrealistic thing to me in this movie, okay, not the aliens, not any of this shit. It's Hudson mouthing off to the officer right there, and the fucking sergeant just being like, "Hudson, get over it!" Like that motherfucker that got smoked right fucking there. Like
really, even on deployment.
Yeah. So
I thought that was more of like this coming from literally zero experience with any of this, but I figured that's like the getting smoked thing is more of like. During training?
I mean,
do people get smoked on deployment?
No, you definitely get disciplined no matter where the fuck it is, bro. Yeah. Like you get extra duties and stuff like that. Like you're going to be scrubbing rocks or whatever the fuck is going on. Yeah. There's no way you're going to fucking just
mouth off.
I never saw it. To an officer, especially like that. Like that's not,
that officer seemed a little bit like a pushover.
So he was a clown, right? He's supposed to be. That is pretty good representation too, except for like in real life, usually a good officer would defer to like Apone on almost everything because Apone is like the sergeant that's like leading. I don't know much about the Marines. Obviously, I wasn't a Marine, but they're supposed to kind of be like infantrymen or whatnot, and in my opinion, like he would have been like deferring to Apone most of the time if he was a good officer. Sure. In theory, he's kind of a shit officer.
And,
as we say.
Yeah, like he's written to be a shit officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Apone, real Marine, he fought in Vietnam.
Oh, really?
That's why like I feel
the
like
sergeant.
The sergeant, the black guy. Yep, absolutely.
I didn't realize his name was Apone. In fact, I don't really remember much of their names.
I remember the important ones. Okay. So, like, I know Alien fans that, like, remember every single dude. I know, like, Vasquez, obviously, Hudson.
Because Vasquez was also kind of mouthing off.
And she's, like, she's been in a bunch of shit. She's been in Predator. She's been in, she was in Predator 2. She was in this. She was in Terminator. She's been in a lot of shit. Yeah. I forgot who she is in Terminator, but she's definitely in Terminator 1. She's in ton of like action role shit like this. Yeah. Usually playing like cops or badass and stuff like that. Yeah. And then Drake is like her like boyfriend kind of character. The other fucking heavy weapons guy. And then
there's a guy from Terminator.
What's that?
The guy from Terminator was in this. Right?
Who's that?
Wasn't he in Terminator 1? Who was the other guy?
Hicks. That's Hicks. Yeah, Hicks. Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
So remember the joke last week in Terminator 2 because he was a good friend. He's got to get paid, man. I like.
Although he was in this he was like.
He's the other main guy. Yeah, absolutely. No, he needs to get paid in Terminator 2. Remember he's in that dream sequence
for 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So I love these like scenes because this is what I'm talking about. They're like Predator level shenanigans, and I like the earlier point that they're like.
It actually really, now that you're mentioning, I didn't think about this even a little bit, but this really gave me Predator vibes.
Yeah,
where like
supposed to.
Yeah, where like
similar.
The dude, like all of the Marines were like just cringy. They were.
But here's the thing,
cringy.
right? It's
Dude,
okay.
the Predator, all the characters in Predator were super cringe.
I mean, like, cringe if you were like a soft-hearted beta male, but like, they're fucking like boof to the rest of us. But now these,
that's my favorite thing.
Another thing I love about these, because here's what I'm talking about. They're like, is this just going to be another fucking bug hunt, man? Because like they've been on like patrols before that's just kind of like bullshit, where they've just like smacked down motherfuckers and it's no big deal. And we even get that reinforced. They get all their shit together and stuff like that.
Now, when they say bug hunt,
yes,
does that mean that in this universe there are like invasive species of aliens that they've been sent to? Like,
so here, me and a friend of mine have discussed this. Okay. He thinks that bug hunt means like turkey shoot. Like, it's bullshit. Like, it's not like there's nothing to it. I
don't know what turkey shoot is. Is that
like a term? Yeah. Like, it's just like you're not doing anything is really what it is. Okay. And then there's like, I think it is that these dudes, because they're supposed to be like these badass Marines, have like dealt with simple shit constantly. Like, just like regular patrols that are just like, we smoke the fuck out of them. Don't even lose
the fuck out of humans?
Or no, bug hunt. Species. I would think that was like shitty like alien species.
But more like alien species like buffalo type shit, not fucking the xenomorph.
Well, nobody's seen anything like this, because also the important part of the xenomorph, remember in the last one they talk about how he's like it's a perfect hunter killer type of thing. So now, that's what it's made for.
When they're on their way and they're getting briefed, they refer to these things as xenomorphs.
Yes.
Where'd that come from? Did they already know? Did they just assume that she was right then because everything would disappeared? So they were just like, okay, we're going to call them xenomorphs, or
I don't know.
Because at this point they
isn't
still
xenomorph just like a generic term for like a fucking creature or whatever?
Is it? I don't think so.
I don't know. We're just going to go with that.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, but
no, xenomorph is actually made for this for the movie.
Awesome.
It's called the Xenomorph XX-121 or the Intervisis raptorus.
Okay.
Raptus, which is just the name that they gave the aliens from the Alien movies. But like that's why I ask, because when they're getting briefed at this point, Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley hasn't been believed.
Yeah.
And then when they're on their way, they're just like, now you got to remember the xenomorphs, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so they're just like going to take her intelligence at face value now. They're just going to assume that she was right because somebody disappeared. I was pretty okay with that, but I was also like, that's pretty about face.
I think, no, it's not an about face, right? Because it's now the military portion, right? Because there's like the corporate portion that was like, yeah, we don't get. Yeah, that's how like corporations are.
But
like,
the military is
bullshit.
just like
the military is like,
this is a military operation.
We're going to treat it like a military operation. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I may be reaching with that a little bit, but whatever. So
listen, up until this point, a lot of it was very reachy to me.
Here's the thing, though, too. Yeah. So they get into their drop ship. They get to they're in their drop pod and they drop and they start going down or whatever, right? And there's this is again why I'm hinting at like them hinting at these dudes are a bunch of badasses and shit, because like they bring up like how many combat drops have you been in, Lieutenant or whatever, right? And he's like.
Just like, oh, a ton.
Yeah. And he's
two?
like, how many actual?
He's like 270 something.
Right. And they're like, how many actual live combat drops, including this one? 2.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, fuck, right? Yeah. And they're getting ready to get down. And dude, everybody's like losing their shit. And they're like fucking shaking everywhere. And some people are like fucking Hudson's like, wah! Or whatever. And then like, dude, Hicks falls asleep on this fucking drop.
That was good.
Somebody wake up Hicks, right? Like, that's indicating to you.
When Hicks was asleep, I was just like, oh, look at Mr. Billy Badass.
Right. That's the point, that these are a bunch of badass motherfuckers. They're just like fucking ready to rock and roll, bro.
I think the only two that kind of bothered me and they kind of just soured the experience of the Marines at first for me were Hicks and Vasquez.
Okay.
Because they just both seemed cringe. Like I was.
You mean Hudson and
Vasquez?
Yes, because
the whole time
very
Hicks was fine. Yeah. I feel like the whole time I'm just like, I just wish these two would just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like everything that they said, I was just like, just shut the fuck up.
That is
maybe the point.
That is realistic as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
There is always some fucking dude running his mouth like about how fucking awesome he is or how badass he is, and this
and even when things start going
about how
south,
he was like a wrestling fucking champion in high school and shit like that. Yeah.
But even when things start going south, then Hudson won't shut the fuck up, but in the opposite.
Right.
I was just complaining.
Freaking out. Yeah, like, that is, again, 100% realistic. Like, dude, we're on this duty. We have to do this duty. And somebody complaining the entire fucking time. Like, I can't believe we got to mow this shit. Like, this is fucking bullshit. I don't get paid to mow. No, dude, 100 fucking percent, dude. absolutely. Or like one time we had to fucking chip fucking ice from a goddamn street because the fucking salters weren't running, and so we were out there with our e-tools cheaping the fuck out of ice, crying this whole fucking like, dude, we ain't got nothing else to fucking do. Shut the fuck up, man. No, it's definitely there's absolutely people like that, bro. So they land and they start getting ready to go. They're starting to head in. I love here's another thing. Like, man, I guess I'm just a gusher over Cameron over these last couple weeks, and I probably will just because we're doing the movies I love by Cameron, right? We've done every movie we've done by Cameron so far is a movie I like. The only thing I don't even care for that much is, as we pointed out, Titanic, even Avatar, like, it was okay. Like, it definitely wasn't good, but it was fine. I love the attention to detail with the two fire teams and whatnot. That's definitely a thing that would happen, and that's really nice. You have now here's where I am somewhat on board with you.
Okay,
I don't really understand why Ripley comes down with a dropship.
Yeah,
like that doesn't really
she was supposed to stay on.
Yeah, she should have been on the orbiting ship for sure. But I guess like
if I were Ripley,
yes.
Again, there is no price in heaven you could pay me.
Yes.
That would get me down on that fucking planet.
Right.
I would be like, I am going to stay on this dropship.
These Marines could be space Marines. Not these Marines, but space fucking Marines. Yeah. I'm not coming down on that goddamn shit.
I'd be like, have fun with
Terminators. You could be fucking Terminators.
You could be Primarchs. Right. I'm going to stay on the fucking boat.
I'll be up on the ship. You guys
I'm not going down there.
Go kill everything, take some pictures. Yeah. Let me see how things go. Yeah. Report
I'll
back.
watch you from the cameras and enjoy the shit out of it. Right. I'm not going down on that planet. No, I agree. Guess what's on that planet? Death. Actual death.
More. Yeah. And even if these fucking Marines, let's say they're top of the line, amazing fucking alien killers. Yeah. I'm still just a fucking human.
Exactly.
So that the fucking alien gets to me, I'm fucking dead no matter what. Instantly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. I don't even have a gun. It's fucking ridiculous.
So some of it just seemed contrived.
Yes.
Like
that I would say that's definitely ridiculous that she goes with them.
Like it makes sense that Paul Rudd goes down there because obviously he wants to find the ship or the alien species and make sure that they like contain it and bring it back. Yeah. But the fact that he that she goes down, I'm just like, no.
And one of the parts we skipped over that you brought up earlier is this is when we start to learn about Bishop and shit, and he's doing the knife trick and everything like that, and he has that little blood coming out of his knife, but the juice, and she freaks the fuck out, and she's like,
"Is that why?"
Yeah,
I forgot what he did, but when he sat down next to her, he was like being weird in a very Android kind of way.
No, he does the knife trick first. Yeah. He sits down and because he doesn't notice that one of his fingers is slightly cut and it's oozing, and she looks over and she sees that and she gets freaked out and jumps up from him and shit.
And I thought that was a very reasonable reaction.
Absolutely.
I would never trust an android the rest of my fucking life.
As you pointed out, I would not land on that fucking planet and I would not hang out next to a fucking android.
And Bishop
Both
was
tried to kill me.
Sinister too.
Yes.
Like he had like a little sinister grin almost the whole time.
All the time.
Yeah, like, and I was like, okay, so the androids in this universe
Lance
are bad
Hendrickson.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In my mind, the androids in this universe are just bad guys at this point.
Yes. Yeah. Cool later on thing that we're never going to get to this movie, so I'm just going to bring it up right now.
Wait, what movie?
Aliens vs. Predator. Did you see the original?
I've never, so don't say it. Because if it's going to spoil something.
No, it's not a spoiler, I don't think. I mean, well, maybe. So Bishop, I don't feel it's a spoiler. If you do, I apologize in advance. Bishop is shaped after Weyland Yutani.
Oh, okay. Bishop is supposed to be Weyland Yutani?
Bishop is like what Weyland Yutani looks like.
Oh,
that
really?
actor plays Weyland Yutani.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In
Lance
what movie?
Aliens vs. Predator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's just
because
a cool
the
little
only
thing.
Weyland Yutani that I know is Guy Pearce from Prometheus.
Yeah, fuck that. So it's cool, and I like it in Aliens vs. Predator because he shows up, and you think he's Bishop at first, but it's actually Weyland, and someone's like, "Hello, Mr. Utani," or whatever, this and that, blah blah blah, and
yeah, okay.
But yeah, so anyways,
honestly, when I was watching this movie, one of the things that I thought to myself was, I like Prometheus more now. I still think it's a bad movie because there's a lot of just bad choices.
Sure.
But I love how it informs the universe, and that just makes it a more rich experience.
Sure.
So that was just an interesting comment that I had.
Interesting. When I rewatch this, hate Prometheus more.
Because they let you down in your universe?
Because they fill it in poorly, in my opinion.
Because they're just like, because they could have had something more to add, and then you saw all the failures. And for me, it's just like, I already know what I like, what I think about the movie. It's bad, but at least now I have like a bigger understanding of the universe.
Well, maybe one day we'll do Prometheus and like a thing or something like that, but we'll talk about why.
We'll like do a
makes
10-part
less
series
sense.
of like movies that we both have seen that we just want to talk about.
Yeah, something like that, right? In year 5 of Minorities Report. All right, so they're doing the thing. They get to a science area and they find a bunch of face huggers in this point. And they're like...
They find 4 face huggers.
Yes.
2 of them are alive.
And quickly, this is when I'm like, I think even the Marines are like, okay, Ripley, what she is saying is correct. Like, this is fucking what's going down. We're going to start, kind of even taking her more seriously and her advice more seriously.
Everything looks destroyed.
Yes.
Like the ship is fucking destroyed. And they can't find any of the people.
Right. And importantly, there's no sign of any of the people. Yep. And there was just like tons of families and stuff. They say the number of people
there,
but I can't remember.
There's 160 people there.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be like 160 people.
Nobody, there's nothing, nothing of that nature. There is like a hole in one of the fucking floorboards that just goes on forever, that Hudson spits in, and they pretend like they're going to throw him down. And,
I do like that they were like, oh shit, this looks like it was corroded by acid blood.
Yes.
And Paul Rudd's character was just like, oh, hey, you were right.
Yeah.
He seemed like such a smarmy fuck at this point.
I mean, he's a corporate guy, so like he does definitely play that part perfectly. And with Paul Rudd, they definitely cast a perfect person for that role too, in my opinion. And then they meet the new cat, aka Newt.
Yep.
Because she plays the part of the cat in this fucking one. And this is where they catch her, they bring her in or whatever, and they try to talk to her, but she's like catatonic basically. And then we cut over to Bishop, and Bishop is acting really fucking weird at this point. He's like,
that's where I was just like, oh, you are gonna fuck this whole thing up. Somebody kill the android, please.
Right now, head off. Like, take that fucker's head off, because he's like looking at the face huggers, and he's like, very interesting with this and that, and he's studying all the different alien shit. So he's up to his freaky shit, just like in episode 1. So they figure out, at this point, Hudson figures out where the people actually are. He's like, I got all the signs of the people. We know where they're at. Let's go find.
They're using the super silly motion detector thing,
the heartbeat sensor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's now just standard issue. 57 years later, like you would think that would be something much better.
57 years is quite a long time.
Like, what do we use now from 57 years ago, bro? Like, that's like World War. No, that's 1960s. So. Beginning, like, middle of the Cold War era, maybe like coffee machines.
70s, no, that'd be 70s.
30, no, 20? 60 years. Sure. That'd be 1960. It's 2020. Yeah. So 60 years ago would have been 1960. That's how math works. 60 to 2000 is 40 years. 20 more. 1960.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
So, like, nothing. We don't use anything from the 60s unless we're trying to be like fucking hipster.
Even the MREs, I bet, aren't the same from the 1960s.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, no, absolutely not. It's gonna be ridiculous. I don't know now, but like 20 years ago they weren't. So like, we don't, like, unless you're like some weirdo hipster that's like, oh, I use this fountain pen from 1960s.
Well, I'm talking about the military more specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing we use is from the 1960s for sure. Like,
with $700 billion going into the military, we better not be using anything from the 1960s.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anything. Like, you might use like M16s as like targeting, rifles on like the training areas or something like that. But that's like,
wait, the M16 isn't even used for like the regular.
No, M4s now. Oh, yeah, M4s. I mean, there are it's been over 16 years.
Sure, yeah.
So there were certainly some people that had M16 16 years ago, but they were even like later marks of that in like.
Sure. So like radar equipment.
Yeah.
No, you're not using that same fucking radar.
No, not at all. I mean, we didn't even have NBGs or like IBAs and shit like that back then. I mean, we had like a flak jacket basically in fucking Vietnam. That's a piece of shit. Like, so, no, it's nothing. Nothing.
You're saying NBGs and VGAs or whatever. You could have made up those acronyms.
That's true.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
So, especially because I didn't say NBGs, but
whatever you said.
Yeah. So, anyways,
BBAs.
FFWs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Oh, they don't use the standard issue FFW anymore? No. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, dipsticks. So, all right. So, They figure out where they're at. They're at this heating area and whatnot. They're like, what the fuck? They're like, they must have it looks like they're having like a town hall meeting. I think someone even says like they're all there together under where like the heat source is. For the entire
He
place.
goes, it looks like they're having a town hall meeting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So everybody is there.
Yes. And they start to head in, and here's another thing, attention to detail. I like the communication. That's very realistic as well. Like, the fire teams are constantly communicating with each other, absolutely like what an infantry fucking unit would be doing. So I like that a lot. Because that's something, in my opinion, you don't have to do in a sci-fi movie. You can
and a lot of times you don't.
Right.
And it kind of stands out as just like, yo, communicate. This is a bad situation.
Exactly.
Why aren't you guys talking to each other?
Right. Yep. Yeah. And they start to see, at this point, weird like shit on the walls and like the areas around the walls and whatnot. And so
they find a hole, don't they? Or is that later? Where they find a hole and it looks super like alien-esque.
Yes, they find it's like exactly, and it's like got like this, like the whole thing is like plastered in there, right? Exactly, like that. I forgot what they actually exocrine or whatever the fuck they call that shit. So yeah, and the whole area is like that. And at this point, they're like they get into the area and they as they're starting to get to where the people are, somebody's I can't remember, I think it's Ripley is like, hey, what is this place actually powered by? And he's like, it's this and that or whatever, blah blah blah. And she's like, so if like an explosive and she asks, what do the Marines fire or whatever, and the lieutenant's like explosive rounds, basically these explosive rounds, and she's like, so what happens if one of those accidentally hit the thing? And then Paul Rudd is like, oh fuck, dude, yeah. So then
it's gonna go off like a fucking nuke.
Yes,
like,
it's gonna be a nuke.
Please don't shoot anything down there.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, we all die instantly.
Yes, exactly. And so they radio that into Apone, and Apone's like, all right, fucking collect magazines or whatever.
Like now. Here's a question that while I was watching this, I wanted to ask you. I was like, mental note here. Would they have taken everybody's magazines, or would they have just said, hey, don't shoot? In your opinion? Because the taking the magazines seemed like a plot contrivance to me. But then I also thought, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I couldn't imagine a situation like this that would actually happen.
Yeah.
So, like, what would probably happen in real life, and this is one of the things I didn't like about the film, and you can't, I guess, like, this is, like, I'm applying too much, like, actual military thought to this. Like, in real life, I think those Marines would then, at that point, be like, we're ejecting out of here, we're getting out of here, and we're going to find a new plan of attack. Like, we're not going to fucking continue with shotguns and flamers or whatnot, especially in this unknown situation. We now know these alien things are absolutely real. They wiped out our Soul Squad. We're Marines, but we have
go into the alien den. Also, you can't shoot anything.
You can't. Yeah,
and they're like, okay,
right. You can use flamers because they have a bunch of guys with flamers, and you can use the shotgun.
And Vasquez is just like, here's my magazine, and then she's just like, I got like 15 fucking more magazines. Exactly. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, it's silly. It's kind of funny.
And then later on, they're just like, hey,
and not only that, like the entire bag goes off and doesn't blow up anything.
Sure,
so
I mean, they just kind of. I feel like that just was like, there is some possibility that it can ignite.
I think
100%
right, and I think you point out,
you still have to hit the right area.
It's a bit of a like them wanting to work with the plot, because if you think about it, it's like all these Marines armed with basically bolters, because they are explosive rounds, should be able to smoke the fuck out of all these aliens. Not even thinking, or at least like you might lose a dude or two to the initial attack, but after that it's just unloading every which way. Fire.
Actually, so let's keep going, because I want to talk about the aliens specifically and what it was, how they depicted fighting them.
Sure.
So let's keep going.
Sure, absolutely. So as they get to the actual place where all the people are, they're like, holy fuck, what they don't even know what's going on, but there's like a guy, and he's like he's like sewn up against the wall and stuff like that, and he's still alive, and a thing starts to pop out of we know what it is, obviously an alien, and then they're starting to be like, all right, let's pull back or whatnot, but obviously it's too late, because one of the aliens comes out of the wall, grabs the female Marine, I don't remember her name, and starts to bring her up. As she's bringing her up, it's like she starts shooting and stuff, and it hits, the black guy gets hit, a guy with the flamer gets hit, he lets loose the flamer, hits the dude, the black, I can't remember his name now. Hits him. He burns the fuck up. Falls over the edge. All the fucking rounds go with him over the edge. And then they are like, "Fuck this!" or whatever. They start lighting up and shooting everything. Right.
And then it really just goes crazy for a little while. And then that's when the captain, the officer,
Apone.
is
the
the
captain.
officer.
Yeah. No,
starts
lieutenant.
freaking out, doesn't know what to do, and then Ripley's just like, "Fuck it, we gotta go back."
So here's what I like too. The stuff starts to hit the fan, and Ripley's like freaking out, like she's pulling a fucking Danny in The Shining, like like she's like fucking PTSD from these fucking things. Clearly, right? All of her old friends fucking were murdered by one of these things, and now there's clearly a bunch of these fucking things.
Yeah.
So in theory, about 160 of them, because there were about 160 people down there. So yeah, at this point, the Marines are like, what the fuck are we gonna? We need orders or whatever. And they start to try to pull back to get the fuck out of there. And Ripley's like, get him the fuck out of there or whatnot. And the dude's just like, I don't know what to do.
Flustered.
Right.
This guy does not know how to react.
Yes.
So Ripley takes control of the fucking vehicle. Smashes through the fucking window.
Yes. She's like, she takes it over.
Yeah.
And here's one thing I want to make a small complaint about this movie.
Oh boy.
It's a 1980s film, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This scene is 58 minutes into the film.
Yes.
Okay. You would not do an action film where the first bit of action was 58 minutes in.
Yeah.
You would have had a scene in the beginning where instead of those guys going out to discover the egg or whatever, you would have had the security forces fighting against some shadows or something like that and shooting at shadows and then getting taken one by one, some kind of action 20 minutes into the film.
You'd have broken it up a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, but the one thing I'll give it credit for is the only reason you wouldn't do that is if you're we want to give you the idea this is a horror movie like the last one, and then we turn it into actually an action film halfway through the movie.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that I'll give it credit for. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to Cameron. It's just this is an old film, and that's why there's no action beforehand. But that is one thing that definitely stands out.
This definitely is not a horror movie,
right?
In the way that the first one was,
right? Exactly. So this is another reason why. This is why I like the setup of the Marines and whatnot, being very badass, being very. Because then they get smoked the first fucking time they actually come across the alien.
They a bunch of them manage to escape. Hicks escapes. Hudson escapes. Vasquez escapes. And does the sergeant escape?
Apone dies. It's Hicks, Hudson, Vasquez, Drake, and that's it. But then Drake gets killed at the last second as they're getting out of into the thing.
Oh yeah. Because Vasquez freaks out about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then so the way that they set up now, because they're just okay, we got to get the other ship to come back and get us, and then we're just gonna nuke this shit for more.
Well, at that point, Ripley's I'm doing the same thing I did in the last one. We're burning this whole fucking place down.
Yeah.
We burnt down the ship in the last one. Yeah. This time we're just going to smoke this entire installation.
We're glassing the planet.
Yes.
And then
Burke's
Paul Rudd is just
you can't do that.
Yeah.
You're not in charge here. And she's like, actually, this is a military operation. Yeah. And I think because the lieutenant got knocked out, importantly, the next person up is Sergeant Hicks. So Sergeant Hicks is now in charge. Yep. Hicks, what do you think? And Hicks is like, yeah, we're burning this shit down. We lost 2/3 of our fire team in the last couple seconds.
There is nothing here.
Yes.
Let's just fucking glass it.
We're going to glass this shit.
So as they're heading back, now they're just okay, so how do we
they're we got to get the dropship to come get us.
Exactly. So the antenna, the relay antenna is busted.
Nope, that's later.
Really?
Yeah, that's later. That's what happens later. So
okay, that's right. They have to fix the antenna to get remote.
Yes, exactly right. That's
here.
Bishop way later.
They right away just call for the evac.
Yep. They're like, the dropship needs to come get us.
Coming back, there's an alien on the evac.
Riding shotgun.
Yeah, for sure. Right,
the first guy gets killed by the alien.
Yeah.
The chick's almost there, and then she's like, "What's you doing back there?" And then he's like, "I'm chilling in the seat next to you." All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Those fuckers like sitting in those seats.
He woke up from his nap in the cubby, and he's just like, "Oh, I should probably do something about this."
Right, exactly. Fucking man, these guys like to sleep.
And then the second ship crashes, and they're like, "Oh shit!" So now we have to remote pilot.
Well, now they're like,
"We're fucked."
You're fucked. Hudson's like, we're fucking done, man. Game over, man. Of course, very famous line from this movie.
That's the one famous line from this movie.
Yeah,
the game over, man.
Yeah, that's the most famous line from this movie.
What other famous lines are in this movie?
Maybe not things you would have heard because you're not.
But in
80s,
popular culture,
I
had heard
Game Over, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely hear "Get away from her, you bitch." and someone wake up Hicks.
Oh, okay.
I hear that.
Okay.
I say that a lot too.
Sure.
So maybe that's why it's popular, because I say it. So, all right. So, this is at the point they're like, okay, we got to figure out a plan here. They get back to the medical area where Bishop was chilling at, and they're like, all right, we need to go on the offensive here. There's interference between them and the ship, and they're like, if we can get through this interference, we just have to fucking hold out for a while. And Hudson's like, dude, hold out for a while. We had one interaction with these fuckers, and 2/3 of our team are fucking dead from that shit. So that's not good. We then see some touching scenes between Newton and Ripley, because, as you point out, this is like what I think you're supposed to understand, just because if you do the math and everything like that, is the Newt is about Ripley's daughter's age when, she left or whatever. Right, exactly. Yeah. And so you have this touching thing where she's basically, she woke up just a month ago and she had a daughter. Before she went to sleep, she had a daughter that was Newt's age. She goes to sleep, wakes up a month later, she has no daughter. Now she has a lost orphan, basically, that's Newt's age. So she tries to comfort her in this time of fucking monsters and shit of that nature. When they're outside, no, there's another line that's famous from this movie. They're like, Newt is finally talking, and she's like, we should go inside. They come out at night, mostly. Mostly. And that's said on the internet all the fucking time. Yeah. Most, you might not have referred to it, but mostly. Yeah. So then, at this point, Ripley starts looking into the files. And she figures out Burke fucking sent that team to go check out the site that supposedly he didn't believe was there. That Ripley obviously knew was there, because that's where the fucking eggs were. And then she pulls a Ned Stark at this point. And she's like, look, motherfucker, I know what you did. And more importantly, when I get back, I'm telling everybody what you did. And by this, I mean, why I call it the Ned Stark, because it's just like Ned Stark when he figures out that Joffrey is fucking Jaime's, and he goes to her and goes, just so you know, when the king comes back, I'm telling him exactly what you did, and those kids aren't fucking his kids. Like, why the fuck would you tell this person that shit? Yeah. Right at that point? Now, Ned Stark, at least you can make the excuse that he was this super honorable dude, and he tells her, look, and she's like, why are you even telling me this? And because
I don't want to.
I want you and your kids to get the fuck out of here. You know what happened to Rhaegar's kids and all that? Yeah. Them. Get them the fuck out of here so that your kids live. If you take your dad has plenty of money, you can go overseas. You and Jaime can live a life together with your kids, very, pampered or whatnot. Yeah. In this movie, it makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah. Like, she's just like, I'm going to burn you down when we get back. Like, what in the world?
Well, then I'll just kill you now.
I'm just going to kill you, right? Yeah. It's like, why? Like, other than you're just stupid at that point, like, and you're angry, so you're just like, I'm going to let this all out, and it's just, man, I don't know. And Burke is like trying to like reason with her, like, look, here's the deal. The Weyland-Yutani wants this alien back because we're going to turn it into, like, we're going to use it for weapon research. We're going to use it for science research, medical research. This thing is, blah, blah, blah.
Clearly, it's $1 billion fucking organism.
And you can be on board with me. Mm-hmm. I can filter you tons of this money. At this point, if I'm Ripley, I'm like, I like that plan. Let's do that. I want to be rich. I don't want to work again. Of course, I'm going to burn his ass down when I get back, but I'm not going to fucking say that at that point. Like, no, fuck you. You're fucking done when we get back. Because as you point out...
I don't know, man. Let's be realistic.
Yep.
You get back home.
Yep.
You bring back $1 billion research situation, right? You bring back an alien that is worth billions in research.
Yep.
And then you're just like, hey, that guy...
Yep.
He had all these people killed or whatever. It was the blood is all on his hands.
Yep.
The world is going to be like, yeah, shut up. There's a fucking $1 billion fucking research.
Good point.
Like, do whatever you fucking want, you nutcase. They'll literally ruin your life.
Yes.
So that they can all make money, because now it's everybody's money.
Yeah, never mind. Snowden. Yeah. No, perfect. You're absolutely right.
She's not going to be lauded.
Right, exactly. Great point. No, you're absolutely right. So, I'm sorry. Your point is taken. I would probably just shut up. I probably wouldn't even approach the situation or said anything. I would have just made sure he couldn't get that fucking alien back. Sure. And maybe, and I'm more devious. Yeah. I'd probably kill Burke, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I'd probably kill him there. Like, you kill these people.
I'd be like, listen, this is a lawless land, baby, and you're a bad guy. I hate to break it to you.
I would hate it if your sleeping tube, something fucking happened to your sleeping tube.
I mean, at this point, she's got a gun.
Yes.
In her hand.
Well, no, not yet, right? Because isn't this...
Oh, yeah, because this is before she has her romantic scene with Hicks.
Right. He has the Hicks scene or whatnot. So either way, yes, my thing would be the next scene is Hicks teaching her how to shoot a gun. Yeah. I like this only because... Again, they've done a great job with Ripley throughout this show, in my opinion. This first movie, second movie, of being very like reasonable. Like there's nothing insane or anything like that. She's able to fire a gun now somewhat because he shows her how to fucking correctly shoulder it, correctly, look at the, see how many rounds you have left, how to throw in a new magazine. All that stuff is taught to her right there. Yeah. But that's right there. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, she'd be like, Boof! I'm going to go make a sandwich. I'll be right back.
You'd hear some rounds go off, and Burke got lost outside. Yeah. I don't know where Burke went, but he's no longer with us.
Listen, man, he is not an essential part of this mission.
Exactly.
And he is an active liability.
Here's the thing, dude. Okay, I know this is like, because, I'm killing that motherfucker, and I don't even care. Like,
I'm not even feel bad.
Right, I'm going to shoot his ass, and then when they come, I'm going to be like, arrest me. I'll go to jail for the rest of my life because I just saved the world from this fucking maniac.
And also, I would be like, but also don't arrest me.
Right.
Because he was going to get us all killed. So,
exactly. He was literally planning on implanting you with one of these fucking aliens.
Yeah. And implanting me and the baby.
Yes.
With an alien.
Yes.
That's how we were going to go out.
So, that's what actually
he was going to cryo-freeze me with a baby.
Yes.
Fucking alien in me.
Yes.
No, dude, I'd kill him with a smile on my face.
Yes. So what actually happens is he pulls his play because he's like, you were dumb enough to tell me that and not kill me. I'm gonna fucking impregnate you.
He's just like, hey, go to sleep, little baby. And here's some face huggers. Close up the door.
So we
turn off the camera.
Exactly. Yeah. We have a face hugger scene, a bunch of action that happens off of that. Of course, they get rescued by the Marines breaking through. And this is when she's like, I told you first. Now I'm telling everybody what happened. Yeah. And Hudson's just like, Hudson does what we do. This fucking dude's done. So
we kill him.
We're killing him. And as he pulls out a gun to basically kill him, and then the lights turn off right at that point. The power gets shut off.
Yeah, because they cut the power.
They're like, what happened? The power went out. How the fuck can they turn the power off? Right? Like Hudson's like still not processing any of this shit. Which realistically, how did the aliens know that they could turn the power off? I mean,
don't they have an intelligence?
But to me, it's more like an animal intelligence than it is a human processing intelligence. Okay. That's what I've always kind of associated them with.
I thought they were smarter than that. I thought they were smart.
You think they're like velociraptors opening doors and shit?
Yes. I thought that they were velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
I never really thought that.
In fact, actually thinking about it right now, I bet you those velociraptors from Jurassic Park were heavily inspired by
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, they did silly shit. Like there's like... Because you have to always
opening
explain
doors and coordinating and testing fences and shit like that. That's what these things were doing.
Right.
They were testing the gun areas and
That's
it was
true.
more than more than animal intelligence, I think.
I mean, but that is, animal hunting intelligence. Like, that is, testing things and stuff like that. That's what, lions do and everything else as well.
Yeah?
So, yeah, absolutely, dude. Okay. So, I just think that they're supposed to be the apex predator. So, kind of like the lion is in the jungle or in Africa is kind of what they are, but to us and whatnot as well. So, but either way, they are doing a lot of shit, as you point out. They're testing the fucking gun defenses and all that type of stuff.
I love that when they're just okay, so we've got a few hours before we can, fix the satellite.
Yep.
We've got a few more hours from that when the nuclear reactor is going to blow.
Yep.
And so we've got this little pocket of window time. We just need to survive this little window of time. And then they Home Alone it all, which is really cool. I love the gun battery scenes. Both the gun battery scenes were very
another scene that's only in the special edition.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, 100%.
Whoa, dude. You took out a lot of really important, in my opinion, because I'd never watched Aliens.
Yeah.
You took out a lot of important scenes.
I know. I'm letting you know. Letting you know. Because I've seen both, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
Bishop is sent to do the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I love they have the discussion of who's going to go or whatever, right?
Bishop's
and then and they're fighting over it, and Bishop's like, I'll fucking go. And they're like, yeah, send the android, man. Perfect. Or whatever. He's like, don't get me wrong. I don't want to get fucking eat the fuck up either, but no one else can do it but
literally
me.
I'm the only one that knows.
And when they open up the thing to put him into that that tunnel, you see why. He's the only... how the fuck is a human going to crawl all the way through that kind of... I would, like, get in there, they would sew it up, and I'd start screaming and die right there. Like, I'd be like,
Yeah,
like he's, like, crawling through like this.
Yes.
The whole fucking... You can't see me, but I'm using my shoulders.
The vindication, though.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, I was just like, oh, you know what? I had you pegged wrong. Yeah. Sorry, Bishop. You were the red herring. Yep. I apologize.
Right.
I had a lot of slimy shit to think about you.
Absolutely. So motion sensors start to go off.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah. Here they come.
Where are they? They're right here, man. What the fuck? They're all freaking out. And then of course, like they look into like the roof and then they're all on the roof coming through that way or
ceiling,
whatnot.
but
like,
for sure.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Because in this fucking installation, they put up those like ceiling tiles and there's a...
Yeah. Okay.
What?
And so they get through, and they all start getting attacked.
Yeah.
And then this is where Paul Rudd dies, finally.
Paul Rudd goes, where the fuck was he going to go?
He just runs.
He's just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Everybody
and locks the door behind him.
Yeah.
You guys can all die.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to freedom.
And then there's an alien in there.
And then, of course, there's an alien right there. And then fucking murders the shit out of him.
Eats him up. Yeah.
End of Paul Rudd. Thank God. So
he gets his comeuppance.
Yes, of course. We knew that's coming. So
the problem with like this like karmic retribution in movies, where they never have an intelligent person make a difficult call.
Yeah.
They just let karma deal with them.
Yeah.
Is that in real life, karma doesn't deal with things.
That's why it's a movie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that always rings false to me.
Like Donald Trump is still perfectly fine.
It always feels like they're getting away easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should have to have an Old Yeller moment where, like, you just got to put them down.
There's plenty of movies that do stuff like that.
Like what? Like Old Yeller?
I was going to say, off the top of my head, there's Old Yeller. But there's like movies where you have to pay the price for the things you've done rather than just being karmic things sort of like this.
Yeah.
Like
that always feels better than me, though.
Yeah.
There's always some element of like, this is a heavier, more realistic movie.
I just watched this movie, Malignant.
Yeah.
And it's a horror movie on HBO. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, because you're not going to see it, and if here comes some spoilers, people, it made me retroactively hate Aquaman. Because James Wan made that. Now I hate everything James Wan did. It was fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
The first like hour and 15 minutes is like this like real horror movie that I was just like, man, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's this killer and everything like that. And then it turns out that the killer is actually her identical or her conjoined twin.
Okay.
Conjoined?
Yeah. That they split? Or is it
that they tried to cut out but didn't cut her out completely. So she was in the body.
Oh, I don't like this.
And then comes out of the body.
This sounds really stupid.
Splits her head open, and like there's a face.
Oh, this is fucking
And then
stupid.
the arms go backwards and legs go backwards, and then she fights backwards.
Oh my God, that's so dumb. That's fucking dumb.
And then she's like, because she has the power of two people, the strength and agility of two people, she's like Neo from the Matrix. Like flipping and like killing and she kills an entire precinct of cops and gets out to go kill her mother and finally gets stopped. And then they banish that guy. They get rid of the twin, so she's back to normal.
Yeah.
And she's like, finally, I'm free to go. And that's when, in reality, I'm happy for you. You are now under arrest for killing 30 fucking cops.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I don't care if you were backwards when you killed these 30 cops.
Yeah, for sure.
You're now going to prison for the rest of your life. And in this state, we have the death sentence, so you're now dead.
Sure.
Congratulations for defeating the demon, though. Yeah. It's a movie, man. So, I feel you. Because, like I said, Donald Trump is still doing well.
Yeah.
So that proves...
Yeah, it's just I just feel like when the movie just gives him this comeuppance, I was just like, this is semi-satisfying because he gets his comeuppance, but I don't necessarily need him to die. I would prefer that somebody just does the right thing.
And arrests him?
And shoots him and kills him. Kills him on the planet. Yeah. Kills him on that fucking planet.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That would have been good if they would just shot him.
Yeah. That would have been like, oh my God.
But you know what? I think fuck?
This movie fucking went hard.
For some people watching, they'd have probably been like, you just made Hicks the bad guy by shooting him.
Kind of.
Okay.
I
think that's,
You know what I like?
What?
the moral dubiousness of it.
I mean, but that's not a movie. That's reality. That's not a movie, dude.
I would have just appreciated the reality of it. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like new movies are made that way.
No, they are. You're right. There's more nuance to the films and stuff like that. You know,
I feel like in the
Gran
80s,
Torino.
people would have, excuse me, but now it's just like, good. That dude deserved to die.
Yeah. Well, like Unforgiven or something like that, dude.
Unforgiven?
Yeah, with the Clint Eastwood. And they kill Morgan Freeman, and he just comes back and he's just like, and the guy's like, well, I didn't really do anything or whatever. He's like, fuck you. And he just shoots him, dude. Like, it's a fucking, that's a
well, look at the DiCaprio movie.
What one?
The one where he gets stranded on the mountain.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And because the guy's just like, just leave him, because we're gonna die.
Yeah,
and like that's fair.
Yeah,
you know, like a storm is coming in.
Yeah,
that guy's dead weight, probably gonna die.
Yeah,
let's not die on his behalf.
Yeah,
but actually, don't they get really terrible? Oh no, because the son tries to like fight for the dad, and then they kill the son.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, that makes a little bit more sense. But, like, they just wanted to survive, to be honest, you know?
Right.
And, like, DiCaprio are just going back and just getting his.
Yeah.
Or The Revenant. That's that one.
The Revenant.
Yeah, The Revenant. That one was that's a little harder to watch. But that's what I'm talking about, like, movies going a little further these days. Where, like, you know, let's not let nature handle it.
Yeah.
Let's have the characters handle it.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a little more compelling.
That's more nowadays.
Yeah.
So then now they just get in a gun battle at this point. And Hudson finally turns into a badass. He's just like, fuck this or whatever. He's just like, get some. And he's just fucking shooting motherfucking aliens everywhere.
I love watching them fight the aliens. Because in the first movie, the one xenomorph really seemed unbeatable.
Right.
And in this movie, they're
blowing them
dying.
away.
They were popping, which made it seem like, okay, you would need an army of these things to get overrun.
Right.
But a well-oiled military might be able to handle it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. And so Hudson eventually gets dragged down to his death. Yeah. Everyone starts dying at this point. Vasquez and the lieutenant or no, not the lieutenant. It's
the officer. No.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yep. And they're like, fuck, you know, we're fucked. We're trapped. Aliens on both sides or whatever. And they're like, fuck it. Pull the grenades.
She had already gotten hit somehow.
Yes.
Her leg had gotten fucked up or something. So she was shooting and she was out of bullets.
Yeah.
And then he crawled over to her, but he was getting, you know, coming from outside.
Yep.
So he just grabbed that explosive.
Yep, the grenade.
Like,
when they blew up all the fucking aliens in that area. Yeah. Hudson and Ripley start to take off, but what's her name? Newt goes down a chute.
Yep, Newt goes down the chute on accident.
Yep.
Falls into the sewer.
Yep.
Let's go get Newt.
Yeah. They find her.
Yeah.
They start to like cut away the fucking thing.
And right as they're gonna get through, that giant ass xenomorph comes
out of the water.
That's
fucking awesome scene coming out of the water, man. I love that.
And then she gets dragged away. Ripley knows that they're not gonna kill her. That they need her to. More aliens.
Well, no, they. So what? Yeah, they're like, she's still alive or whatever. She's got the tracker on her.
Yeah.
That Hicks gave her.
Yeah.
So she's like, she's still alive. She's still gonna be alive. And they're trying to get away.
She can't deal not just with the fact that and now she doesn't need any more reason than to just want to grab it because that's what the cat did in the first movie. But in this one, she can't deal with the fact that she's been taken, but two, can't deal with the fact that she's going to be impregnated and then murdered like that.
Correct.
You know, like she's just like, that's too horrific of a thing for me to just be able
if she was just going to get killed, shot in the face, maybe I could deal with it.
Or if she watched her get eaten there, okay.
Killed,
you know,
let's
ripped
go. Apart.
But like...
Impregnatation is
this is going to be too horrific for me to just be like, well, I guess that's what happened to her, you know, so she's like, okay.
She's like, so then Hicks is like, we gotta go. They start going.
Yeah.
Aliens after them. They get to like an elevator or something like that.
Yeah.
Alien sticks its head in. Boosh! He shoots him. Acid gets shown all over him, though. So he's fucking done.
Yeah. I love the consistency with the acid blood.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It makes him even more dangerous, man.
Yeah.
So they get out to like the landing pad place area, and now she's like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to get her. And she lays Hicks down. Hicks is fine to good to go. She gets all fucking suited up with all of her guns and shit like that, ready to rock.
She gets on the second carrier, or on the big carrier, and now she's got access to everything.
Yep.
She goes fucking full commando moment. I'm gonna go get this little girl.
Yep. So she gets all of her shit together, starts using the tracker, heads down to egg area, and then there's some weird fucking thing there.
Yes.
And we get to meet the queen alien.
Yeah, that thing
fucking
was
disgusting.
Gnarly.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Crazy.
The disgustingness of the eggs is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And this is where I do agree with you a little bit. I don't know if they're like human smart, but they're clearly somewhat intelligent because she's got like the flames or whatnot, and then all the aliens come in.
Like, whoa, maybe
let's
dial it back.
Chill out.
Give her some space, guys.
Importantly, she does find Newt. She breaks Newt out or whatever, and then she's like, okay, you let us go.
Yeah.
Your shit's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just back off or whatever.
Live and let live type shit.
Back up.
I won't light your shit on fire. You just let us go.
Yep. And then fucking Ripley double crosses the queen and starts.
At the last minute, Ripley's just like, "Nah, fucking I lied. Fuck." It just lights that whole shit up.
And the queen is not happy at this point.
She detaches herself from her like umbilical cord thing, and she is like, "I'm gonna get you now."
Yep. And then she just starts burning shit down, which is to me silly.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing,
because the whole planet's about to explode. It's a nuclear fucking bomb. Right. Just let it go off.
Yes, and more importantly, if it doesn't explode, get back to the ship and nuke the fucking thing. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
So
this was very like impulsive.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I get it. She's got the PTSD that she's been dealing with the entire time. So
yeah, there might have been some element of just like fuck this bitch anyway.
Yeah.
Like I get that. I feel that.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't understand that, but I feel it.
Yep. So they get back up to the landing pad, and she's like, "Bishop, you fucked us!"
Or whatever.
Right?
Yeah. They get up there and they're gone.
And the queen shows up, and she's like, "All right." And then they just kind of blast back, and then Bishop shows up.
Yep.
I think they fire on the queen or something like that. The queen retreats. She gets on the ship, and they take the fuck off. Yeah. And to be honest,
the queen jumps on the ship, right?
You don't see that.
You don't see that happen, but that's what happens.
But I'll be honest, like this happened, and I go, wait, what? I thought there was another thing where like she fights the queen with the fucking machine and shit like that.
I had the exact same thought. I'm like, doesn't she have like a scene where she's in the little robot thing?
Right, because they show that in the beginning where she's like, she shows she's handy with the robot and whatnot. So
from things that I've seen about this movie, like in pop culture, I remember that she fights an alien at least in this little robot thingy.
Yes. Yep. So she...
I was also confused.
Right. So they land and they're like, all right, we can get the fuck out of here. This and that, blah, blah, blah. And Bishop's like... Right. Because Bishop's like... All right, we're all ready. We have this and that, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, sorry about that. We had a bunch of the... and then just out of nowhere, boof. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, now I remember the rest of this.
Gets the tail right through it. And
he's like,
rips him into pieces.
Milk firing everywhere.
Milk and spaghetti goes everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So...
you told me that the first movie was milk and spaghetti,
Milk and spaghetti, yep. Fucking disgusting. Gross, So... now the fucking queen is on a rampage here. She's like, I'm gonna fucking kill that Newt character. Newt's like hiding and they're playing peekaboo. That scene is a little rough for me, but whatever it is, what it is.
Notice,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going with it at this point. So
then Ripley gets in the
get away from her, you bitch!
Rock'em Sock'em Robots comes in, boom, starts whooping the shit out of this alien.
They start fighting. The alien starts to get close to killing her and stuff, and keeps like trying to kill her with the fucking tail and everything else,
stabbing through the fucking thing, the visor part.
She drags it over to the fucking airlock, and then a very cartoonish, like,
they both fall over, kind of.
What's that?
When they both fall over.
When they fall over, right? Yeah, exactly. The models look so ridiculous, and
the alien's just like, then she opens the airlock, and then boom, gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she gets out, and then that's pretty much they go to sleep, and that's the end of the film. They just kind of wrap it up from there. So, So
some behind the scenes. You got some behind the scenes?
I got. I don't have a lot of behind the scenes in this one. I failed on this one.
Sure,
so
that's fine.
And I thought to myself, John Carpenter was like Ridley Scott. Mm-hmm. I know you thought you did Badass Women. I'll show you how I do badass women. And then he made an even badder ass woman than fucking Ripley was in the first movie, right?
I feel like Ripley was, Ripley was unintentionally badass.
Yeah.
She was just a strong human.
Yes.
She was like a willful, about their business, strong human.
Yep.
But she wasn't intentionally a badass.
Right.
She just did badass things because she was willing to do what she needed to do to not die.
Yes.
But it's not like she was like looking for it. Whereas Sarah Connor was like, I know what the future is going to bring.
Yes.
I need to get ready in every way possible, and I need to intentionally be a badass.
Right.
And so they just wrote that character differently.
But you see that, like,
I love both of these characters, though.
Yes.
Ripley and Sarah Connor were done really well.
I mean, it's not a jump to say they're, to me, the two best female heroes of all time.
Because it wasn't like some, like, they weren't men who were just women.
Sure.
And they weren't like Mary Sue's either.
Right.
They just both like happen to be female characters. You know, like
and they have like
they were just
training
characters
courses
that just happened to
and
be
the
women.
reasons why,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And like
really well done.
Yes.
Nothing was given to them.
Yeah.
They struggled a shit ton.
Yeah.
Like they were both put in situations they really didn't want to be in. Sarah Connor going from the first movie to the second movie to me was so fucking great.
Yeah.
Like she didn't want to.
Right.
You know, like and then this was just like this is your life now and you've got to deal with the weight.
Of course.
You know,
She
of it.
She
And she's
Frodo's
like,
it, right?
Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's like, I think you nail it. It's very Frodo-esque, where
Yeah.
Frodo's just like, I don't want to fucking do this. And Gandalf's like, nobody wants to do this, dude.
This
like,
is not a thing anyone wants to
right,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to
But
do this.
the weight
because you're
is on
ones
you
who-
now.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You're the one who did. So let me ask you,
She like leans into
Aliens,
Yeah.
or Alien 2, however you want to spit it,
Yeah.
would you recommend this film?
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, it's so funny because, like, I felt when we started talking, I felt myself being a little more negative than I really, like, I was like, oh, this is going to come off as weird. But no, I really fucking enjoyed this movie. This was a blast. The beginning, you know, maybe it's the special edition or maybe it's, I don't know, maybe they just had like a different pacing situation going on. But when this movie started, I was a little, not bored, but I was a little too, like they gave me too much time to nitpick it. There was just so much happening that was like bureaucratic and like personal decision making and like not enough to distract me from all of that. So I was just like picking apart all of the decisions and why everybody was doing all their like motivations. And when that was going on, there was a lot to pick apart. Sure. You know, like there were a lot of like, well, is this really how these characters would have acted? But as soon as the movie gets going, once they're on the fucking planet and they're just like doing the alien shit, dude, I was all in. Like the alien stuff was so fun. All the characters, like they were fun to hate or fun to like. All like the tension and action were done in a really fun way where the aliens were chasing them. The queen at the end was fucking badass.
Yeah.
I really felt like the characters were there and scared and like trying their fucking hardest not to die. Like that to me, all of it was just played so fucking well that yeah, man, I had a blast. You know, I watched this movie with my daughter. Sure. We were both having a blast. You know, like
cool.
by the end of it, we were just like, Jesus, that was a blast.
Nice.
And so yeah, man, I recommend this movie. This is a good movie. This was a fun continuation to the first one. I don't think it was as huge of a jump as Terminator 1 was for Terminator 2. Like that to me is the better combo.
Yeah.
But I actually have no ill will towards these two movies. Sure. I think that they both kind of had like, okay, so Terminator 1 was like a solid movie.
Yeah.
Where I didn't have any issues with it. It was just like, it did what it was trying to do as well as possible.
Absolutely.
And then Terminator 2 was like effectively perfect. Like I watched Terminator 2 and I was just like, this was like, I wouldn't change anything.
I still have to question if you are a T-1000 yourself from that opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Alien.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is effectively a perfect movie.
Yeah.
There was a little bit in the middle where it slowed down a tiny bit where I was just like, okay. And then the cubby sleeping scene at the end where I was just like, ooh, that was a misstep.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, it was kind of like at that same par where the beginning was maybe a little slow and there were kind of a few missteps, but then effectively the rest of it was perfect, you know, as far as what it was trying to do. Yeah. And so, like, I'd say if Terminator and Terminator 2 were A's in what they were trying to do, this was B pluses in what they were trying to do. A few little missteps here, but like otherwise, zero complaints. This is a movie that I enjoyed at the same level that I enjoy Marvel movies.
Sure.
You know, like you just like, yeah, okay, they didn't do everything as perfectly as you would have liked, but who gives a shit? The movie itself was fun. Yeah. And so, like, that's, anybody who hasn't watched this movie, a full recommendation. This was a fucking great movie. This was a fun movie.
Awesome.
What do you think? Did it hold up for you?
So, you know, I've always had this like back and forth between Alien and Aliens. And it's always hard for me because, to be honest, like just rewatching this movie, love this movie, of course. It goes without saying, I love this movie. It's one of the best sci-fi action films there is. Like, it's hard for me to even think of one that's better sci-fi action, right? Like, because I know like Terminator 2 is it's definitely sci-fi because you have the Terminator, but like everything else that goes on
It's
other
just
than
an action
Terminators
flick.
is action, right? Yeah. This is like in space, on spaceships and space land.
This
So
is
it's
more traditionally what you can
right, exactly. Yeah. So I of course I love this movie, man, and you know it's really weird. Like you bring up a good point with like it's almost like James Cameron wants to like make sure you understand everything. Like this is why the corporation is doing this, and this is how the corporation would respond to this, and this is how she would respond to the corporation, and then they would send in this person here, and like it's like, do we really need all that?
Yeah.
Probably not all of it. And nowadays you probably wouldn't have as much detail in that section if you're making like a Fast and the Furious film or something. They don't need to know what the fuck the carburetor is on this Fast and the Furious
just
film.
doing
right, exactly.
It's
They're just driving cars and shifting cars that don't even have shifters, right? They don't give a fuck. So it definitely has that 80s style feel to it where it's like over explaining itself at times, almost like a Blade Runner or something like that, right?
Too much time to nitpick it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would have, like I say, a small action film. If you wanted to make this perfect, I think you have a small action scene around 20 minutes into the film just to give it a little, because it's a little slow for the first hour. So,
or you have them running in tandem.
Yes.
You've got whatever happens there.
Yeah.
Running in tandem with the lead up to getting Ripley there.
Right.
And you just show me scenes from both of them.
Absolutely. Two Towers-esque, right?
Towers.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That would have been great. But other than that, I mean, like, this is me going, this B plus A minus movie is not an A plus because this little thing,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Now,
it really feels nitpicky.
You make a great point. Now, so, okay, even if like, these two movies are probably even to me. Now, I am naturally a horror movie fan, so that's probably why I like Alien a little bit more, because it's a little bit more of a horror movie. But this movie is really fucking good. And it's like, you made a great comparison to like Terminator, because like Terminator, I love Terminator, right? But I love it as a cult film, because it does have very much a cult feel to it.
Yeah. It feels way toned down.
Right. Yeah. And so you jump from this cult cool movie to this like amazing action film. So the jump is like from, if I'm giving numbers, from an 82 to a 94 or something like that. Yeah. Whereas this to me is like two 90s, right? Like they're both back-to-back good films within a point or so of each other. No fucking complaints whatsoever.
Yeah, I actually agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So, and from here, you know what time it is, boy.
You know, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know why. Last year I was kind of dreading it.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, oh boy, this is going to be a couple of really great episodes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really excited.
Cool, man. So as the rest of you know out there, we're knee deep into Hollow Green. And I've watched probably 10 horror movies at this point in time. I've been watching them pretty regularly. And we go to Halloween movie coverage. And the first one up.
Okay. Can you just tell me all of the ones that we're watching this month? Just straight up, just tell me all of them. I just want to know everything.
We're going to watch 2 movies with chainsaws.
Oh, boy.
And then we're going to watch a movie with a goat.
What?
So,
wait, is that goat movie coming out this year? Oh, no.
That's not a goat movie. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's not the movie we're watching.
Is that coming out this month? If that comes out this month, we got to add it.
Fuck. Well, that'll be a Patreon episode if we do
So,
that.
Patreon episodes for this movie, or for this month, at least Dune, for sure.
We have 2 this month.
Okay.
In October. We have
that's right.
Dune and Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills, yeah.
Halloween as like a preempt. Yeah. So when Dune is in 2 weeks?
On the 22nd. This is
okay. No. So then
end of the month.
Okay, so Halloween will come first. That'll be around October 14th ish. We'll be pumping through that pretty soon. So what you'll get is not extensive coverage like we do like this for Halloween, which is the 2018 film. But you will get then extensive coverage for Halloween Kills. Yeah. So Halloween may be a 20-minute coverage, just our thoughts on it, and more importantly, your thoughts on it, because it is a direct continuation of the Halloween movie we did last year.
We'll actually probably just have them both in the same.
We will, yeah. We'll just go bang one out, maybe a little talk, and then
there will be a Halloween Kills special.
Yep.
There'll be the Dune
special.
Both of those are going to be on Patreon only.
Yep.
And then for
3
the regular
movies
show,
for this month that are coming free at you.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
All right. Get you and a couple of your buddies together and head out to a nice cabin in the woods. Tune in and turn this podcast on live as I speak unspeakable words live as we cover Evil Dead 2.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. I get to see that movie. It's such a fucking pop culture movie. I'm so excited to see it.
And I'll be able to explain why we're watching 2 rather than 1.
Sure. I can't wait to shit on it. God, I'm going to shit on it so hard.
You're going to love it. Live. We should go inside. They mostly come out at night. Mostly.